Hey Top Dogs, Alyssa here. Kayla and I wanted to try to offer a little bit of educational information for you guys. That way we feel confident in what we're able to give you. That way you can start feeling comfortable at home if you aren't already. Creating your own workouts, getting the rationale behind why we create the workouts that we do, and continue to be comfortable while doing work from home. Today I'm going to talk about the 3 planes of motion. So the 3 planes of motion are sagittal, frontal, and transverse or horizontal. It goes by either of those names. Our day-to-day lives happen in all 3 planes of motion, so why wouldn't we train in all 3 planes of motion? So I'm going to use this yoga mat to kind of help out with showing and displaying how each plane of motion, each of the 3 dimensions, are shown in day-to-day life. So the sagittal plane, it splits the body into left and right. So it'll just cut me right down the middle into left and right sides, and so then my movements can only occur within this plane. So that means I can only move forward and back. So I can only move forward and back, then move my legs going forward and back. Next, with the frontal plane, it splits your body into front and back. So it would be right here, splitting my body into an anterior and posterior, or frontal and back. So now my movements can only happen within this dimension or this plane, so I can only move from side to side. Finally, the transverse or the horizontal plane, it splits your body in half at like the waist to midline, belly button, hips. So I'm split into top and bottom. Within this plane of motion, I can only move rotationally, and that includes at the joints. So think any kind of like spinal twist or internal, external rotation, hip circle, so I can only move within here. I cannot cross this plane into the other 2. So some examples in our activities of daily living, in some exercises and warm-ups in the sagittal plane. Think walking, we're just walking, we're moving just forward, we're not crossing any other plane. With a warm-up, think walking lunges, where we're just staying and walking straight ahead. And exercises, think like a bicep curl or a squat, where all we do is stay right within that plane. Next, with the frontal, this one's a little more challenging. We don't frequently stay within the frontal plane because the twisting is what starts to get in. So with frontal plane, think any kind of side bend, so side bend, reaching. My spine is now curved, I'm reaching over into the other side of the plane. Think lateral raises with arms or legs. Some things in activities daily living, think like reaching and grabbing for the remote. If you're reaching and grabbing for shampoos while showering. And little things with warm-ups, think side shuffles, or crossing feet over. With the transverse, this one's a lot more fun with the twists. In activities of daily living, think about putting on a seatbelt where you're going across the body. So I'm twisting, a motion, pulling, going across, but I'm still staying within that plane. Russian twists for exercises. For a warm-up, think grapevine, so you're offering that twist now at that spine. You're not only just crossing over. Some halos, any kind of movements here, so I'm just moving around. And hip circles, next really good one. Internal and external rotations, you can do these with bands, not just with weights. And then a couple of breakdowns for you to think about where all 3 planes of motion are incorporated in your daily life. Think about when you're driving, just getting to your car, walking to that, reaching forward and pulling. So that's going to be in the frontal plane, pulling to open your car door. Next, when you reach to the side, say you're putting a water bottle into where your cup holders are, or you're going over and reaching for the gear shifter, that's going from that frontal plane, so moving just side to side without the twist. Finally, like grabbing the seat belt, say you're reaching for something behind you, and you're reaching out to adjust your mirrors. Next one, think when you're going to shower. So you're reaching straight ahead for the shower curtain, then you're pulling the shower curtain open. So we've got both the sagittal, reaching forward, and then the frontal to pull, and then think twisting and turning, moving the temperature gauge for hot and cold. So you're just moving that wrist, offering that rotation, staying within that transverse or horizontal plane. Some fun ones with exercises, think lunges. Lunges can happen in all three planes. So forward or back lunge. So moving forward, then going back. Side lunges, so I'm just stepping out to the side, still staying within that plane. Then finally curtsy lunges, offering that twist. My hips start to twist a little bit of lumbar movement in there. And then with down dog, something really fun that you can think about for that. When you're just getting into down dog, from your plank, say, hop in that plank, and send it back right into down dog. So that's a movement forward and back, so that's going to be in your sagittal plane. Then say I'm wiggling, I'm trying to get comfortable here, that's your movement in the frontal, so I'm just moving side to side, no twisting. Then finally say you're trying to get into a runner's lunge. I'm moving that leg back, opening up. That twist right here that I've got, that's going to be my transverse plane. Twisting back over, sending it forward. A lot of sagittal plane movement in our day-to-day lives and in a lot of our exercises, movements, warm-up stretches. That's a really fun one to think about when you're doing a lot of the different movements. Most yoga practices incorporate all three. And then finally, some exercises that have all three just within it. Think a Turkish get-up, a dumbbell clean and press. The big thing with that, the horizontal or transverse plane movement happens within that AC joint at your shoulder joint, where that it's a ball and socket joint, so there's twisting right in there of the humeral head, so that is the transverse or horizontal plane movement. And then an additional one that we've done a little bit in some of our exercises are the star cross squats. So with the movement in the frontal, sagittal, and transverse plane happens there as well. Just a big thing to remember, try to model your exercises with compound movements, incorporate not just your large muscles, but those smaller muscles as well that help with stability as well as mobility. And try to take all three planes of motion into account when you're creating your exercises from top to bottom, including your warm-up, the actual exercises themselves, as well as your cool down and stretching. If you guys have any questions about this, please feel free to reach out to myself or Kayla. We'll be happy to continue and further and give you a little bit more information on this. We do want to make these trying to short and sweet videos, and we're going to continue building from here on out for you guys. Thank you.